Hi, welcome to this episode of Industry Voice. Today I have Ira Ziff on the podcast. How are you, Ira?
Doing good. Just came back from the Connected Claims conference late last night, and it was a really good conference with a lot of good content.
Tell me about it. How was it?
Well, the reason why we went was that Reuters asked us to come in and do a pitch seminar for the exhibitors. And we've done many of these, and I do it in conjunction with my associate, Robin Barsky, who is an executive coach, and I think you may have spoken to her once or know of her. But one of the things what she has done is she delivered a seminar, which is interactive, which she developed for the Harvard Business School around 20 years ago. And it's all about why you in 30 seconds. And we can all use this, not just exhibitors, but salespeople, anyone networking, people looking for a job, people looking for employees. It all comes down to why you. And very often we focus in on what we do or what we're looking for in employees, but not why it matters. So it was a great event. We really helped a lot of exhibitors. They were essentially doing virtual jumping jacks after they got their pitch. Once you own your message, you can be a lot more enthusiastic, you can be a lot more powerful, more engaging and confident. So we felt really good about it. And those that didn't come, we actually did on the spot sessions with people.
What make you guys the expert? Tell our audience what make you guys the expert.
We've been doing executive search for 29 years, and it always amazes me at how dysfunctional the search process is. So I can double click on that for a moment. Employees, if you would look at their job descriptions, I'd like to say if a job description could talk, it would be really hysterical. So think about it. If you're looking for a salesperson and it says, I need an ambitious salesperson, someone who's very proactive. I mean, duh. I mean, that's what salespeople do. And if you really read it and you read it literally, it's hysterical. So too with resumes. So there's this dysfunctionality in the marketplace where companies are really unclear as to what they're looking for because it's really hard for them to identify the three outcomes that are quantitative and qualitative that they would want someone to achieve at the end of a year versus what they do. So too with candidates. And that's why very often candidates will tell me after they're in a job for 3 months, 6 months, a year, it's not what it was supposed to be. It's not what they told me it was. Well, there's so much dysfunctionality in the business that we thought, well, how do we make a contribution? And that all comes down to messaging. So we developed what we call the anatomy of a pitch. And I could go into that if you'd like, but that's how we deploy it.
I think Ira, we jump right into the podcast, but we should give the audience a little bit background of Ira.
Well, I don't want to underwhelm you.
No, you're good.
Once again, I've been in the business for 29 years, and I'm very privileged to be in a situation where I can enhance the fortunes of companies while simultaneously really enriching individuals. I started off my career working as a retained executive search consultant to some of the largest companies, both in insurance and in the finance sector. And over the last 7 years, we've really focused in on insurtechs. So we place people virtually in all roles other than technology, coders, and the like. But we've been involved with virtually every job title.
How many candidates do you think you work with on a given month?
On a given month?
Yeah.
Well, that fluctuates.
Mhm.
You know, what we try to do is work with as few as possible because we need to set up filters so that we can really find the very best available talent fast. So we have a very large filter, but we know how to grind that down into finding really great talent. So it's really hard to tell. And it depends on what our volume is and what our needs are at the time.
Okay. What are the most common searches you're getting these days?
Uh,
From the employer perspective, like what do you think are the hottest job right now in the executive search world?
we see a lot of sales because when you're in an emerging company or you're a company overseas and you're trying to come to America, or you're really looking to improve your bottom line and improve your valuation, you really need sales. So we see a lot of that. We are often called upon to find, for example,
Let's hold off for a second. Let's deep dive into that sales. So I'm a tech company out of India. We do AI agent, right? Hypothetically. And I say, hey, Ira, I need executive sales. Give me the criteria you're looking for, the check marks. Thank you for all your support to our channel. Here is a quick word from our sponsor. Please click on the link below in the comment section to sign up for a demo with Traq AI.
What if your insurance sales conversations could work harder for you? Meet Traq, your AI-powered conversation intelligence partner. Traq automatically captures and analyzes every customer interaction, providing instant call summaries, risk analysis, and AI-driven coaching insights. Say goodbye to manual note-taking and hello to more selling time. Traq handles the admin work while you handle the revenue. Fully integrated with your favorite platforms. Plus, get custom AI analysis tailored to your unique business needs. Transform your sales team's performance with Traq. Visit traq.ai today.
Click the link in the description below to schedule a demo with Traq today.
first of all, we have to understand. I've had quite a few conversations over the last 2 weeks with people literally from India and beyond that are looking to come to the US and looking for their first salespeople. But most of them can't afford a salesperson. They have no idea how expensive really great talent is. And very often, what we do is we refer them to fractional marketing executives who can come in and improve their funnel in inbound inquiries until such time that they can get enough volume going. And also, a lot of these companies don't really have a good understanding of their product market fit. And a marketing person can really help there too. So, very often, I encourage people not to start with a salesperson, but when they do, um, we have to put them through a grinder and really help them understand what they're looking for because retention problems start with job descriptions because it's very common that companies do not really understand who they're who they should hire and what the criteria is that they should be looking for. So I can just parenthetically go into this. A new company may want to hire a player coach. So, in other words, there's three types of salespeople. There's a coach, which is a sales manager, a player coach, which acts as a sales manager and a salesperson, and a player, which is a salesperson. A player coach is really a great place to start. They're very hard to find, but it's a great place to start because they can figure out the product market fit, they can learn it, they can do it, and then they can, hire the right person to do it again. Most people are either really good a sales manager or really good as a salesperson. So it's really hard to find someone who's like a two-headed monster. So that's some of the advice I give to emerging companies.
What about the other way around? If we are a US company and we want to outsource our tech solutions or BPOs in India, is there ever time the other way around that you are helping US companies, especially some of the legacy companies, finding tech solution talent on the other side?
That's really not our expertise. We wouldn't be good at that. We don't have a frame of reference for it. So,
Okay.
yeah.
What do you think are your strengths when it comes to what you and your company do?
The strength is bring clarity to what people are looking for. For an employer, it's really understanding. So, for example, very often someone will come to us and say they're looking for an XYZ executive. And at the end of our conversation, it's a different role or it's a different version of the role. That's why it's worth finding a recruiter or a third party that really can help you think through what you're looking for, because it's like launching a missile. If if you launch it and it's 2 degrees off course, it can hit another country. So too with employees. This is why you really have to think about retention at the start of your job description.
Yeah, that's a great comparison.
Thank you.
So yeah, we have supposedly 500,000, right? Young 500,000 professional in the insurance industry that's going to retire in the next couple of years. What type of trends are you seeing industry in general doing to replace those 500,000 people?
Well, I'm not sure I have the answer to that because, the industry is really, really searching for ways to around that. I think it all comes down to really marketing insurance as, a great place to work and the social value that it brings. And it's actually quite exciting, and it has an image of being boring and old school, but there's so much excitement going on. It's really on the frontier of AI and big data. So someone's going to have to sell that really well. But where I can play a part and where I can make a difference in my company is we are all about repurposing really good talent that are retiring. So we call that fractional employees. Now imagine being able to hire someone to do a very specific outcome for a very specific price to really enhance the fortunes of a company, to really move the needle. They have expertise, they're ready to do it, and it's try before you buy. And it's really a great opportunity for companies, especially emerging ones that don't have the budget to really tackle some of the projects that they have. I can give you an example, and I'm sure she will not mind me doing this, but I worked with Marissa Buckley. She was a really gifted, well, she is a very gifted executive, a marketing executive. I pulled her out of a full-time job to do an fractional executive role as a marketing professional. And that assignment just led one to another. And she literally built a robust practice as a fractional marketing executive. And my clients that I brought her to fell in love with her and really benefited from her expertise. And it was so in one case, the company was looking for a mid-level, they could only afford a mid-level marketing person. And I said, you know what? You're going to waste your money, that you're going to end up having to hire an agency to fill in the blanks. Why don't you just carve out what you need project by project and use someone like Marissa to come in, tackle it. Once you're happy with that, then move to the next project and the next project. It's also a try before you buy, as I mentioned. You may even want to hire them as a full-time person. So this is one of the ways that we can repurpose a lot of the people who are retiring and fill some of the ranks that are being emptied out.
Yeah, all those people that's retired, they're now going to drink margarita and play golf. So make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
What are some of the hottest industry that's growing the fastest that you're seeing right now?
Well,
Inside insurance.
inside insurance, well, it's AI ad nausea. Everything's AI. So I think there's some very exciting companies out there. I have a number of clients that are in the AI space. They're really first to market. It's very exciting to want to work for these companies. And I think we just had a meeting at the Connected Claims conference with an amazing entrepreneur who's using AI in the claims space, but they're doing mental modeling and really understanding how AI can act as a real human to solve a real problem. And they're brilliant scientists that are putting a lot of energy and money into this. So I think that the sky's the limit here. It's a very exciting time, and hopefully it'll light the employment world on fire so we can bring more people into the business.
Very interesting. What about outside of AI? Is cyber and ES space still very hot?
I have not done enough work in that business. I work on the outer edges of it. I jump in, I jump out. So I really can't give you a good overview of that.
Okay, that's good to know. Are there any other events you go next couple months?
I think we're done for the year. Unfortunately, I missed ITC this year. I had a conflict, but I was at Connected Claims, as I mentioned, and there was an eye-opening statistic. I'll just read it. Rob Jung from PwC, you may know him. He was talking about the projected turnover rate in the industry. So, and it's all based upon individuals wanting to upskill. I was fascinated. So in 2022, there was a 19% rate of turnover. And it's projected this year to be 28%, which is almost 50% increase. And 67, yeah. And 60,
Why do you think that is?
well, I'll tell you what he said, that 67% of those that they interviewed were going to change jobs because they wanted new skills. How interesting is that? And
That is interesting.
And that puts, emerging companies in a bit of a pickle because they can't afford to necessarily offer these things to individuals. So, but if you're a big insurer, my gosh, and you have the wherewithal to really upskill your people, it's worth the investment, because to lose an employee is catastrophic financially. There's statistics all over the board that it could be cost you anywhere from 2 to 20 times your salary, the salary of an employee, to replace someone, because of all the downstream effects of losing someone. So I thought that was a very interesting statistic, and it really, these presentations made Connected Claims very worthwhile to attend to.
That's cool. That's really good to know. That's interesting. I didn't know it was that high.
Yeah, I thought it was quite eye-opening. And, you know, like I said, the whole hiring process is dysfunctional. So whatever we can do to bring clarity on both sides, we're going to find a lot more success in hiring people and keeping them.
Most of the people ask you when they meet with you. I'm just so curious. I want a potential person to say, "Hey, I am stuck in this role. I want to continue to move up, but I'm kind of stuck here where I am." How does that conversation look like?
Well, first of all, at the conference, I must have been approached by no less than 10 people saying, I have to get out of here. I've never looked for a job for the last 14 years. I don't really know where to look. I don't know what to do. There's a lot of that going on in the business. People are stagnating. Companies are pivoting. It's leaving a lot of people behind. So
Mm,
then the conversation goes about, well, what are you looking for? And they don't know. It's they're like blindsided. So that's why Robin Barsky, my associate, who's an executive coach, really has to work with her clients to really identify what they're interested in and align their skills and their aspirations to something. So and then I hear people saying, I've applied to 100 jobs online. No one's responding. My resume just goes into a dark hole. People have no idea how to properly find their next opportunity. And that is something that on a human level, I really spend a lot of time helping people with.
that's cool. And that's good to know. How many conversations are you having a day right now, like in your inbox?
Oh, the inbox is beyond, um, it's just so full. Whether it's candidates reaching out to me, people looking for opportunities that I'm not looking for. Um, I have a very full schedule, and it's got to a point where I had to open up my schedule to 2 hours in the evening after dinner. I'm very engaged in the business. Love my business, love helping people, but sometimes it's a little overwhelming.
What's interesting? I was at church last night, and young lady approached me. She somehow know my wife, know that I'm on LinkedIn. I'm in the insurance industry. She's a professor teaching math, and she started going off about all of her skill set in math, like incredible math person, right? I was here, reinsurance, actuary, they have to be really, really good at math. I'm gonna talk to you offline, about maybe we can help her out. So that's a conversation I'll have with you down the line and see if you can help place her somewhere in the world of actuary and reinsurance.
It really would be my pleasure. Feel
Yeah.
free to do it.
Well, Ira, thank you for coming on to the episode, to talk about careers, jobs. This is going to be a good topic that I think a lot of people will find it very interesting. And, I'd love to have you on maybe a panel with other exec search recruiters in the future. And we just talk about the trend industry going into 2025.
Oh, I would love that. Love to hear other perspectives. But I also want to compliment you. You've really been a real good voice in the industry. You're very generous, and I love meeting you at conferences. And you should keep doing it. And we need people like you in the business.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much, Ira.
You're
And
very welcome.
I'm going to send you an intake form, get all your contact information. Our audience, make sure you follow Ira Ziff on LinkedIn, and I'll drop the intake form in the comment below.
Okay. Thank you again. It was a pleasure speaking with you, as always.
Thank you, Ira.